Joining from Media here. In this video, we're going to talk about how you create and set up a webinar for free, which can be a great piece of content to bring leads in. So stay tuned. At Media, we help companies grow and thrive using the latest tools, tricks, and marketing techniques. From websites to automated sales funnels, social media content, and much more. We are constantly releasing new material on our YouTube channel, so make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss out. Feel free to leave any questions in the comments section below. Just before we get going, I want to very quickly tell you about our exclusive offer. We are giving away free access to our paid Hub platform for the first 50 people who click on the link in the description. This offer is going on all of our YouTube videos, so hurry and get your place. Within Hub we have created over 100 training videos in 13 courses, including a course on creating amazing lead magnets. You'll also find recording webinars and a host of other free content, so remember to click on the link in the description. Let's get on with the video. Webinars are one of the most popular entry points to a sales funnel. If set up correctly, they can get you an email address for your automations, show them you're an authority in the field, and allow you to interact with your leads. The webinar is going to be done on 3 platforms: YouTube, PowerPoint, and OBS. OBS is a type of open source streaming software. To start with, you're going to need a YouTube channel and you'll need to download OBS. If you do not have a YouTube channel, the link to set up one is above. You'll also find the link to download OBS. You can also use platforms other than Microsoft PowerPoint, which are similar. After you set up the YouTube channel, the first thing you've got to do is come to your homepage and click this little plus icon here with the recorder. So click the plus, and we're going to put Go Live. Now once you're on this part, you then need to create a title for it. So we're going to call this one, just start with something like that. And this is the important bit, you don't want to set it to public, you want to set it to unlisted. You can add a description if you want, and this is where you're going to be scheduling it for later. So the 2 important bits you have to do here is you have to make it unlisted and you have to say schedule for later. So we're going to put a schedule for later. We're then going to put a date and a time to schedule this. So let's choose, say, a week in advance, the 23rd at, let's go 3 PM. And we highly recommend you uploading a custom thumbnail as well. Now these can be made in Canva with their settings, so I'm just going to choose one to upload now. Okay, and there's the thumbnail done. Alright, yes, made for kids. No, it's not made for kids. And I'm going to leave it with that one for a second. And you can add age restrictions if you want, but you just need to click Create Stream. Okay, and this is what your dashboard will look like. Now this is where your video will appear once you start streaming. There's your Go Live section. This arrow is what you can click on it if you want to share it with people, and that's what you can copy and paste to send it out to people, or you can share it on any of these things. For example, there's LinkedIn if you want to share on there as well. And you can also embed the code and stuff. Now the really important bit is this stream key down here. Now this stream key is what we're going to be copying to put into OBS to set up our stream. So this is what OBS looks like when we first open it. Now this can look quite daunting to start with, but once you've got the hang of it, it's actually quite easy. So the first thing we've got to do is link it up to our YouTube stream, and for that we're going to need our stream key. So if you go back into YouTube, we'll see your stream key is here. You can hit copy. Then we need to return to OBS. And in OBS, you then need to go into File, Settings, click on your stream here, and you put in your stream key. So paste it into there, click Apply, and then OK. Okay, now the 2 are linked, so that means when you click Start Streaming, it will start streaming to your webinar that you've got set up. Okay, now you've got to set up some scenes. Now the scenes I'm going to want are, firstly, I'm going to want this scene for the PowerPoint presentation. In the PowerPoint presentation, this is the slide they'll see when they start, and as soon as I start a lesson, I'm going to click onto this slide. Now, I usually have a starting soon on there just because people turn up to the webinar, and when they turn up, you just want to let them know that it is starting soon, and they don't have, they don't have to leave or anything like that. This is the second thing I'm going to talk about. This is a program called Miro, which we use to test our ideas. So I'm going to have this open as well. So we're going to have PowerPoint, and we're going to need to have the page that we want to talk about. And you must make sure these are not just open, but they are open on the screen as well when you click back into OBS, because we'll need that for later. Okay, so on the left here, we're going to need to set up some scenes. Now there's going to be 3 scenes I'm going to want to set up. So the first scene is just of the PowerPoint. The second scene is the PowerPoint with myself in the window. And then the third scene is the web page with myself in the window as well. So first I'm going to want to give this scene a name. So I'm going to right click, click rename, and I'm going to change it just to PowerPoint. So a PowerPoint intro. So now I'm going to want to put a scene onto this PowerPoint. Now just before we get going, the PowerPoint you're going to want to show here, if you put it in a normal slideshow mode, it won't fully fit in the screen properly. You need to come down here and click Reader View. So as you can see from that, it still leaves some space at the top and the bottom, but when I set it up, you'll see why that's needed. So in the sources, this is where your stream comes from. So the sources, we're going to need a window, and that window is going to be PowerPoint. So we click plus, and we need to go onto window capture and create new, and here you can call it a name. Click OK. Now this is where you choose the stream area that you want it from. So I'm going to go down to PowerPoint presentation there, and there's the screen. Now you'll notice that it doesn't fit in properly. So if you hold the mouse down and move it, it's going to move like that. To change the size of it, hold down these corners, and you can just slide it down to size. You're going to need to fit it into this window here. There we go. As you can see, if you've got it on that reader view, it fits in perfectly as well. Now, what that does mean is that when I change a slide, this is going to change here. And that's important because this is the view that the people who are watching the webinar are going to see. They're not going to see all this bit around. They're only going to see this PowerPoint slide in the middle. So if I change the PowerPoint slide, see it's changed in the window. The starting soon has disappeared. Okay, so scene number 2, I'm going to need to add another scene now, and this is when I've started the webinar, so it's going to have to be switching onto the next slide, and on the next slide I want it to be with myself appearing in a box in the bottom right hand corner. So I'm going to click plus. Scene 2, I'm going to call it, I'm going to click OK. Okay, now in this one I'm going to want my PowerPoint in there, so I'm going to click add. Window capture. Now another way you can do this, simply go on here and copy that scene and then paste duplicate. And it does exactly the same size on there, so that's quite useful as well. So now I'm going to want to add in my webcam on here as well. So I'm going to click the plus. I'm then going to go up to video device capture. Now video device capture will be whatever webcam you have set up there. I'm going to just call it webcam, and then I'm just going to hit OK. And I want it to be my front-facing camera, which just turned on there. There we go, working from home as it is in the middle of coronavirus at the moment. So click OK. And then I'm going to want to grab one of the corners of the screen. I'm going to want to pull it right down like that. So I am just going to appear in the bottom right of it there, of the screen. Okay, so that's looking good. And if I switch back to this scene, you'll notice that I'm not in there as well. Now, it can sometimes get annoying clicking on these different scenes set up. So what I'm going to do is try and set up an easy way to get through there. So I can go to File, click Settings, It's a really useful one, this setting called hotkeys. So I'm going to click on hotkeys. I'm going to scroll down. As you can see, I've got the PowerPoint and Windows scene and a PowerPoint intro. So I'm going to put the PowerPoint intro screen. I'm going to say Control Alt and V is the first one. I'll say PowerPoint window, Control Alt and B, the next one across. And click OK and apply. And what that means is without clicking anything, I can just go from one to the other by doing Control Alt V and Control Alt B. So that's a really nice way to switch between scenes. Actually, I'll turn that scene off very quickly without having to use your mouse or without having to go back and forth between this one. So the next scene I'm going to add is the scene that we want to show people during the webinar. Now we're going to want to talk them through this program called Miro. So we're going to want to show that scene as well. So we're going to come back into OBS, we're going to add a scene, and we're going to call that scene, I'm just going to call it website. Now notice there's no source coming to this one either, so I'm going to push plus to the source. This is a window capture. Choose window. And there we go. That's the Chrome one. And click OK. Now this one can be slightly annoying. If you resize this one, you'll notice that it doesn't quite fit in sometimes. So as you can see there, it's still not quite fitting and it's got the bits around the edge. Just going down a little bit to make sure it fits. So you can see there, it's got the bits either side of it, those black parts there. There's no easier way around those ones, to be honest with you. It is just something that is going to happen there. You can stretch it to fit the screen, but it does make it look a little bit strange because it makes it look a little bit stretched. We have it with these bits down the side, and it seems to work fine for that one. Now I'm going to want to put on my webcam for this one as well. So I'm going to put a window. Now I'm going to want this webcam in exactly the same position that it is here. So I'm going to go down to webcam. I'm going to go up to copy, go into the website. Then I'm going to put paste reference. And I'm going to put it in exactly the same position that it was before on that one. Okay, so go to PowerPoint intro. I'm going to set up a hotkey for the website one. So file, settings, down to hotkey. And I like to work my way along the keyboard. So so far got V, B, and this one Control Alt and N. Now that means that I'm very quickly going to be able to go between that scene and then very quickly to that scene. Notice how the webcam stays in the same position then as well when I'm switching between the scenes. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is need to start this stream. So as soon as you're ready to go, you can click Start Streaming down here. So we're going to click on it now. Alright, now this bit at the bottom shows it's been live for 4 seconds and that the stream has started. And if we go back across to YouTube, you'll see that firstly this bit comes up saying that the stream is in excellent condition. It's connecting stream software. When you come back in and you start streaming, you can click on Go Live, and that is when it will start. Now the only thing here, it's got an error message saying it's not receiving enough data. That's just because I'm recording the screen at the same time. So when you start that off, this will not happen. I think maybe I'll take a screenshot of what it should look like and then talk you through it, and that will stop this happening. So the next shot you'll see is just of a screenshot of the blank screen, which you should be seeing when you're ready to go live. So this is a screenshot and it shows what you should be seeing when you're at this stage. The stream has excellent condition, and what you need to do in the top right when you're ready to go is just click Go Live. Now as soon as you go live, it will start obviously showing you live to your audience, and your audience, if you look on the right there, you've got your live chat box. So your audience can start typing questions into there. So what we usually do is we do a webinar, and then after we've done the webinar, we go through the Q&A questions at the end of it as well. The next video we're going to be looking at is how to market this and get people to sign up for your webinar to go into your automations. A warning I would give is that you need to test out this software first. It can be a bit complicated if you try it on an audience straight away. Maybe test it with some co-worker and friends, build up some webinars first, and then give it a go on your audience.